Hello everyone, and welcome back to Not Roy Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo. I am One Wild Sheep yet again, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we're taking on Roy Koopa's castle. And this definitely is his castle, folks. The acapella song is pretty much lying at this point. But seriously, this castle is one of the more tedious castles to get through in the game, you know, folks. This is a bit all you really need to do is follow this snake trail, and that's actually the name of these things. These are called snake blocks. And just don't fall into the lava, just follow where this thing's going, don't run too fast, just go at a very moderate pace, and you should be fine. Eventually you'll reach the other end of the hallway, and honestly the first half of this castle I'm really not a big fan of. The second half of the castle is going to be one I'm quite happy about though, I'm going to say that much. However, what you will need to be looking out for are loads of potaboos that will pop up from the floor and ceilings as well, because those will sometimes have an occasional issue where they'll clip through this platform, and just be a bit careful, because it's more than possible for that to happen. Also, look out for the slightly different coloured spikes on the top of the ceiling as well, because, well, if you get hit by those spikes, you're gonna lose super form. If you get hit by normal spikes as well, which is also possible, you will also lose super form. So it's actually probably one of my less proud runs to this place, but I digress. Let's just continue moving. And also, if you left that P switch, that's first statue at least that's shooting at you, will not shoot fireballs at you, and so it's usually best to try and avoid that P switch, you know. Although, I have to be perfectly honest, I kind of like the statues, just because they just remind me so much of Mario Bros. 3. In fact, I think that's the exact same sprite for Mario Bros. 3. But I digress, it's time to take on good old Roy Koopa, who's a lot less pink in this game. And usually Roy Koopa's extremely pink, but for some reason in this one he went with the blue colour. I don't know why, maybe it's a colour palette issue, or maybe the developers just didn't know what colours the Koopalings were when they made the games or something. I don't know. I'm assuming it's a colour palette issue, otherwise he would probably be pink. But I digress. It's another one down and out. Oh, it didn't explode. Okie dokie, it's gonna have a look at this. Wah! Luigi found his way through the forest of illusion. I just put an end to Roy Koopa of Castle Number 5. I'm at the dangerous but tasty Chocolate Island. I should have done that in a bit more of a radio voice now, shouldn't I? The next castle I'll do in a radio voice. I could re-commentate over that one if I want, but nah. I think I'll leave it for the next castle. But speaking of which, we are heading to the next fortress of the game, folks, which is all the way over on this side of the Forest of Illusion. Remember the secret area that I completely ignored? I'm not ignoring it anymore. And what I recommend, folks, is coming to the stage with a cape feather, because okie dokie, it's now time for Luigi to show off his juggling act. Oh, okie dokie. So yeah, just spin, and you'll get through this entire stage. You can actually... I usually love going through the stage just to see how far I get while juggling this thing, you know, see how long it lasts me juggling. So yeah, it's pretty cool, you know, I like this. Also, notice how I'm not even really hitting the shell. That's because the spin attack actually has a larger hitbox than it looks, basically. You know, you don't really need to hit enemies with the shell in order for them to get hurt by your... You don't need to hit enemies with the shell. You don't need to hit enemies with your cape in order for them to get hurt by it. You know, it's handy. I like the spin attack. It's so bad. But honestly, this is pretty much the entire stage all the way through. You know, you're spinning the shell until you reach the end. I don't mind it though. It's pretty neat. Don't get crushed, by the way. If you get crushed, it is instant death. And I love the way the background. They sped up the background just to make it seem like you're going really, really fast through here. Even though you are essentially moving in an ant pace across the level, it makes it seem like you're moving mega fast. And the speed of that even goes even when you skip the level. So if you stop flying across, you'll still see the background rotate like this. So go on Yoshi and fly across using him. It just makes me really feel like, oh shit, son, 88 miles an hour? Great Scott! You know? But I digress. Time to go to the Forest Fortress and what I basically consider to be the hardest fortress in the game. Start things off, auto-scroll level. Ugh. Seriously, I really don't like the auto-scroll levels. I don't mind them when I'm playing, but when it comes to watching them back, and they're really not the best levels in the game. And sometimes I just want to go fast, you know, I want to go at my full speed, but I digress. Anyway, when I say this is the hardest fortress in the entire game, I'm not joking, because you got tons of these saw blade things you need to deal with. If they get too close to you, you're gonna die, and the best way to deal with them is spin jumping on them. And of course you have the crusher things in this room as well to couple with the saw blades. So honestly, this entire sequence is a bit trial and error, you know. You need to know exactly, you need to know the best ways to go, otherwise good luck, you're probably going to go down, you're probably gonna die, you know folks. But I digress, let's just continue moving. And be careful as well, because you can quite easily get tricked or nicked by some of these saw blades. So, like I said, this is treacherous, folks, you know? Like that particular thing with the purple runny platform, as I call them, is especially awkward, because you have such a small room for error. If you make one mistake, you're going to cost either with health or your life or lives. Either way, if you make too much of an error, you're going to cost. You know, you're going to get hurt, like that, for example. And one of the big things I recommend is simply just trying to be patient. You know, don't run too fast through the stage, otherwise you will have trouble. Anyway, heading over to here after we skip that doorway that we need to take access to, there's a giant pit of lava. Now, if you have a cape feather at this point in time, which is more than likely to get, more than possible to get, because that block actually houses one if you hit the block with a super form. You'll be able to fly across and get yourself an absolute crap ton of extra lives. So, yeah, that's an option if you want to get to it. It is a really hard flight to make, though. I always have issues getting past it, because you need to be perfect with your flying controls. I'm not really going to show it off in this playthrough, because let's face it, I can't really be bothered. Although, one thing that's quite unique about the Super Nintendo version of Super Mario World, because I don't think you can do this in the Game Boy Advance versions. There's only one Game Boy Advance version. But anyway, whenever you go to a castle or something that you've destroyed, if you rapidly mash the L and R buttons, you can actually access these old destroyed castles and fortresses and redo the stage, you know folks, which is quite nice. I like the fact they give you the option to do that, even if the game doesn't tell you you're able to do it. I like the fact it's possible. But anyway, I digress. It's time to continue onwards into Chocolate Island itself, where we're actually going to come into contact with some of the more native enemies of this island, folks. We're actually going to start taking on the general dinosaur populace, because obviously this is dinosaur land. We haven't seen many dinosaurs at this point, so yeah, it's about time we start running into these type of guys, isn't it? And for the most part, these mooks take 2 hits of defeat, just like the dinosaurs in the the dinosaurs we met previously. So just jump on them twice or do a spin jump in order to kill them, you know folks. Although when they're in small form, it only does take 1 hit, so that's all you need to worry about when they're in small form. Just be careful, however, when they're in small form, they are surprisingly difficult to deal with, because what they will do is they will shoot fire out from the top of their mouth. So you could be trying to jump on them, and at the last second, they'll just sit there and be all like, "Nope, .avi, time to burn your ass," and let's just say, no one likes getting sick burned like that, you know. But fortunately, we have Yoshi to help us deal with some of these mooks now, and yes, Yoshi can't eat the big guys. I think that would probably be obvious at this point, but just in case it isn't, Yoshi can't eat the biggies. So there we go. I like this world though. It's probably one of my favorite worlds in the entire game. But you do need to be careful as well, especially to go out of this cannon, because there isn't a Koopa you're meant to jump off. That was a bit of a dick move, because I clearly couldn't reach that, so I had to use Yoshi and get rid of Yoshi in order to survive, so that kind of annoyed me, because I don't like killing off Yoshi. I love Yoshi. Yoshi's so adorable. He's like the most cutest thing in the existence of anything ever. Why would you want to get rid of a Yoshi? You don't. You just don't. He's so fucking adorable. But I digress. Now it's time for the chocolate secret house. Not chocolate secret house, the chocolate ghost house. And this stage has a bit of the Matter Splatter Galaxy vibes going on. And 10 out of 10, we'll play again. This stage has a lot of the Matter Splatter Galaxy vibes going on. In the floors are actually, they have holes in them, and the holes will move. So what you need to do is sort of jump over the holes and try not to land through the middle. And it's just actually a deceptively difficult challenge, really, because you'd expect this to be an easy challenge where, oh, no one could possibly die to this. But clearly, if you're playing badly and having a bad day, you can quite easily miscalculate your jump and just fly into the platform like I did earlier. And it doesn't help that we have these ghoul enemies that I keep forgetting the names of, going after their tea and crackers all the time, so yeah. But yeah, this is a pretty tricksy stage, and we're actually introduced to a new enemy type, folks, and this is the only appearance of this enemy type. Meet the Cement Block Boo Buddies. Hence, as you'd expect from the name, when you look at them, they turn into blocks of cement, allowing you to jump on them and progress up to a higher area. For example, this high area up here, which is actually the exit of this ghost house, folks. So whenever they get in a good enough position, just look at them and try. You can probably manipulate the AI if you want. So yeah, very easy challenge, very simple to get up. It sounds and looks more challenging than it actually is, folks. You know, if you'll look at it and think you'll have trouble getting up there, but honestly, you won't. And if you have a cape as well, you can simply fly up there or do a long high jump, you know, folks? So there's more than enough way to get up there. But I digress. Time for the most unique level in the entire game. And the main reason this is the most unique level in the entire game is primarily because as time goes in this level, things will change. This level will change depending on you. The amount of coins you collect will change the level design. The speed in which you go through the stage will change the level design. And honestly, to get the secret exit, you need to fulfill a couple of requirements. You know, you need to go through this level specifically, in a specific way. And you guys didn't see me die like that then, okay? You didn't see me die like that. Nope. But I digress. But basically, this stage in particular is split up into 4 major areas. Area 1 is always the same. It will always be the same level design as you're currently seeing. However, when we reach Area 2, this is mainly affected by the amount of coins that are collected within Area 1, and there's 3 different versions that Area 2 can transform into. If you have collected over 21 coins, or 21 coins and up, you'll go to Variation A, as the Wikipedia article that I'm using for this, it actually calls it. And it's basically got 2 major gaps you can only cross by using Cape Mario, so you have to get a cape feather on the ground and fly across, it's simple as. Now, if you have collected 8 coins or less, you'll go to Variation B, in which case Mario will start on a platform at the bottom of the screen, and honestly, this is the main area you're going to probably find yourself going into, where you have to jump across all these paratroopers and the like. Then, you go to Variation C if you have between 9 to 20 coins. And basically the entire thing consists of a flat platform with a question mark block containing a coin that's in front of a waypoint. And what you need to do is run up a slope, avoid wrecks, blah blah blah, make it to the end. It's pretty interesting, you know, you got loads of springboards. Now, Area 3 of the mission is the area that's affected by the amount of time the player has left on the mission. And if you're fast enough getting through the stage and you have 250 seconds time, or, you know, you have 250 seconds left on the timer, you will actually head on to the secret exit of the world with loads of charging chucks, and it's an awkward one, you know, it's a very bleh. I don't like that so much. If you have between 235 and 249 seconds left on the timer, you'll end up starting on jagged platforms with a load of dinosaur rhinos and torches walking toward him. And you can also grab a dragon coin, there's not really much to talk about there. And Variation C is 234 seconds or less, and is simply an area filled with narrow platforms and water with pits. You know, it's not that big a deal. Although you can get loads of super mushrooms that are kind of like in bubbles, and that's basically the only thing I can really talk about that. And then Area 4 is determined between the amount of dragon coins that you pick up during the stage. If you have less than 3 dragon coins, you'll end up going to Variation A, where There's loads of grassy platforms and loads of bottomless pits, and it's a simple everyday platforming challenge. And variation B, which is 4 plus dragon coins collected. You'll start with a grassy platform, you have rotating blocks and you'll deal with, and there's a P-switch you can hit at the end, which turns loads of coins into blocks, which then you need to jump on to cross a gigantic pit. So yeah, there's that. But with that, folks, that is essentially the end of this part. So thank you all for watching, hope you all enjoyed it, and Jesus Christ, did I really screw the pooch in this bonus game. Jesus!
Oh no, this is just how it got to Luigi. Well, I always with Luigi. All I wanted was some more lives.
But I digress. Thank you all for watching, hope you all enjoyed. Don't be sheepish people, and I'll catch you all next time. Bye!